All right, let's get into this one. Nocoiner's guide to dtube stacking and trading the DTC token. These are a few of my favorite things. You could make a Christmas song out of it. We should get all the dtubers making a like dtube Christmas song. Right, let's get into this. Episode 2, stacking and trading the DTC token. Episode 2 of season 1. Series 1. Will it just be more than one series? Who knows? So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 different things today. First one I want to get into is that if you're a brand new person to crypto, like I mentioned in the first video, and you don't know much about tokens, then the one thing that you need to know quickly is that tokens are incredibly volatile. That means that one day they can be incredibly high and then the next day they can crash down to next to nothing. It's the next to nothing times is when you really want to be buying it and then sitting on it. I know this might seem like a bit of a strange shift in perceptions, but imagine that you get paid in AdSense, like my last video I was talking about Google AdSense, and then you get it in fiat because they pay you out into your bank account, dollars and whatever. And then as soon as you transfer that to a bank, you're going to use it for all kinds of different things, buy stuff off Amazon, paying rent, yada yada. Then that money's gone and disappears until you have another AdSense the next month. The difference with buying into a token is that that price can change. So if I buy it for today's price, which is like 18 cents, if I leave it for a week or 2 weeks or a month's time or maybe 6 months time, it could go up in price. Don't get me wrong, it could also crash down to 9 cents or 1 cent, but obviously if it goes down to 1 cent, there's going to be a lot of people buying it because it's incredibly cheap. So that's one thing to try and keep in your head, is that these things are incredibly volatile, but it's money that you've still got. It's not like money that you've like just spent into the ether and disappeared into kind of rent that you're never going to see again, like dead money. Second thing, with 5,000 potential tokens out there, growing daily attention is the key, and I think this is the reason why I'm doing these videos and why I've been around on dtube for 2 or 3 years, is that I work independently. I don't work in a tribe, I don't work in a group. Maybe it's because I'm a Generation Xer, I don't know what it is, but I like to work alone. It's just how I operate. So there is over 5,000 and growing all the time crypto projects out there that have a token. 5,000. So there is going to be a token for whatever you're interested in, be it art, be it cars, be it music, be it everything that's out there that you can think of that might be a hobby or an interest has a token behind it. dtube is for video, so that's why I love DTC token, DTC coin. The biggest thing with all of these, just like any other platform, YouTube, TikTok, anything that does a video, is that attention is key. Take Charlie, I can't remember her second name, the Italian sounding name, D'Amelio, something like that. Charlie D'Amelio. She has 100 million subscribers on TikTok. She's the biggest followed, biggest subscribed by a huge margin. I think the people in second and third are like 50 million. Now imagine the amount of views that she gets, amounts of plays that she gets, and then she gets a small commission on X thousand views of those. But what she's doing for the platform as a whole is showing people that there is a potential there to change your life. Like literally, she just dances in front of a camera and makes money from it. And so people are like, I want a slice of that. And in the same way, that's why people are starting to look at decentralized video over centralized video, is that centralized comes with a lot of things that get in the way. Like they want to mute certain conversations, certain topics, certain keywords. And just recently they want to advertise on top of your video, even if you're not a partner or not. So you don't get any benefit from it at all. You're putting content up, and if it gets popular, then they make money on it and you don't. Because even if you're not partnered, then you don't get any AdSense at all. So kind of doesn't add up there. And eventually what people are starting to realize is that they need to self-govern themselves when it comes to their content. They need to be the person who's the CEO of their brand themselves. Next one, buy cheap, sell high, hold. These are your brand's store of value. Now, I kind of touched on that in these last couple of ones, but I'll just kind of say it again, is that if you're somebody who gets to be well known online for whatever reason, maybe it's information that you put out, maybe you've built a brand around it, maybe you're selling a product, eventually the numbers are going to grow, the stats are going to grow, people are going to come in more and watch a lot more of your stuff. If you're just getting paid out every month, like I said earlier on, with a check from AdSense and it just goes straight into fiat, it is always going to be tied to that dollar amount, right? That $1 amount, $500, $500, $1 equals $1. Whereas on crypto, if I invest in something, a bit like, let me put it like this. For instance, in the middle of the pandemic, we saw the price of oil absolutely plummet. We saw whole industries get wiped out, plane travel, right? So you've got all of these like planes being parked for like a year, 9 months, just sitting almost like in a plane graveyard doing absolutely nothing. So obviously the stock market, the amount of the amount per share of these big corporations has plummeted because nobody's flying, because nobody can fly. So that's a perfect example. Oil, plane companies, all of these ones that have been really hit hard by this, their store of value has crashed. Their share price has crashed because they're not making money for their shareholders. Whereas with crypto, you can think of it like you're the shareholder of your own personal brand. I'm not quite sure why I was going with that. I think it's because I've only had like half of my coffee this morning, so let me have a swig of coffee. All right, number 4. I think it's number 4. I don't want to number these in case I miss one out, because I did this with like the first video and I had 10 and ended up doing 9. Uniswap gives us decentralized trading ability without KYC. So don't be scared by the word KYC. It's not something that you have to have rubbed on you and like somebody impregnate you. Sounds kind of weird, but KYC is know your customer. So part of like a fraud protection thing online for most corporations is they need to have a name and address and some details about you, so that if you're spending money on a service, say for instance I buy my course or buy a course and use Stripe to pay for it, Stripe, when they take the payment from my credit card, they need to know that that's a legitimate credit card. They need to know who the customer is. Don't ask me why. Maybe they're like collecting this data, maybe they're like sharing that data with other institutions and groups, so they can keep a kind of track record of how much kind of money that you're making or where you're spending it. One thing I do like about crypto, and I've always liked about crypto, is there's very little middlemen in it. It is a mathematical equation that when I send a store of value from one place in the world to another place in the world, there is no bank to sit in for 3 days while they make money off my money. It goes straight to the person, and I can mathematically see when that value has reached that person because there is an equation that takes place. And so I love that. And so there's all these marketplaces that popped up, decentralized exchanges, and one of those is Uniswap. And luckily for the dtube community and DTC is that we do have a swappable token, so you can swap from DTC to Ethereum on Uniswap, and it's fantastic. It's amazing. It's stunning. I can go in there, I can see the price of DTC, I can see the liquidity, I can see like if I want to take some out of my DTC account, I just connect up MetaMask, which is a free piece of software, and I can transfer tokens back and forth into Uniswap and then get Ethereum out, and then at that point you can send it to wallets and other places where you can convert your ETH to fiat if you wanted to do that. So it's fantastic for that. It opens your eyes to a different way of living, a different store of value, and different spending patterns. It's completely influenced the way that I interact and spend money. Next one, diversification is key. Sell high, buy back cheaper, swap for other cryptos and communities. So it seems pretty obvious, but maybe it's not for some people. But the thing with shares is the reason why somebody buys into Tesla is that they know that Tesla is going to be massive in the next 3 years because they bring out a car that can do 500 miles compared to one that does 200 miles. So what happens is that the speculation economy of somebody going, oh my God, that car is going to be amazing in a year's time. If they invest now and then in a year's time that car happens and loads of people buy it, if you've bought shares in that company, then the price of the shares is going to go up because lots of people are buying the brand new Tesla. Ding, simple maths. It's not hard stuff, right? So sell high, buy back cheaper. Like if right now I wanted to buy into dtube and DTC, I think it will go lower, but 18 cents, which it is today. It was 180 last week when we just had a lot of momentum, a lot of people buying in, and then obviously people have dumped. It's kind of happening across the market right now because the price of cryptos is going up, so people are taking a little bit of cream off the top, if you like, And then the idea would be I'd buy in now, and then I would sit on it for a month, 3 months, 6 months. And if it goes up double that, if it goes to 36 cents, which is a high possibility because we've seen that before, I've doubled my money effectively. And it's all it's done is sat in that asset. It's just like having a share in a corporation. So some of my favorites on that diversification would be BTC, Litecoin, Chainlink, ETH, and Dash. I know people are like, Dash doesn't do anything. Dash was one of my very first cryptocurrencies that I bought and traded, and it was incredibly fast. Maybe it was just the name that won me over, but somebody either sent me something about it or told me about it, or I read something about it being very popular in Venezuela, and so I tried it, and it was incredibly fast compared to BTC in 2017, 2018, when it cost you like $50 just to take $200 out. It was crazy because everybody was just like, we're at the all-time high of 20,000, then everybody was just like, yes, my Bitcoin is now like 20x what it was. So yeah, I bought Dash. I like Dash. I still like Dash. I still think Dash, again, it goes back to what I was saying earlier on. There's 5,000 tokens out there and they all have their function. I think Dash works very well in Venezuela. It's very quick. I can go into a food outlet that supports Dash. I can scan a QR code and it'd be done in seconds. Almost as good as Visa. I know they have a higher TPS, transactions per second, a lot higher. But the fact that I can do it in that kind of interaction, I'm not waiting for like 5 minutes or 10 minutes. You couldn't do that at her point of sale at a till. So I like that. I feel like having little pools, little pockets, little wallets of these things is incredibly useful later on, because I also think that will have like some kind of AI swapping ability that's connected to geolocation. So imagine walking into a venue or flying to a different country, landing in a different country, and then your phone basically saying, hey, it doesn't look like you've got service here, but you've got an electronic SIM, you've got an eSIM in your device. I can buy you one. You don't have enough money in the local currency for it, but I can trade this, a bit of this, a bit of this, a bit of this, and buy you one and activate it. You're just going to do it, right? So I think it's important to have like pockets of this. AdSense. With AdSense, you get fiat and you cash out, and it's spent money. With DTC token, it's kind of like a share. It's like a share in a company. And so the reason why a lot of people are here and stay around here and prefer this over YouTube is that they feel part of a group of people. Last night there was a dtube get together of loads of people on stream chatting together about like things that they can fix on the platform. So you couldn't really do that with YouTube. I mean, you can do that with YouTube with some of the big YouTubers, but you can't do it with like small pocket groups. You can do that kind of stuff on dtube because you can see the leaders, you can see who's got what DTC invested in the platform from the blockchain. It's all public information that anybody can read. Be like water, my friend. Be like water, my friend. Bruce Lee famously said that. I don't know if you've ever seen the video. I'm probably not going to show the video here because I don't want to get content striked for it. But there is a video that Bruce Lee did as an interview, and he was getting metaphysical about water in terms of a pot, and how when you pour water into a pot, it takes the shape of the pot. And he was kind of trying to get across that sometimes in life you have to be fluid like water. You have to adapt, you have to take the shape of whatever situation that you're in. And I kind of think it's a really smart way of thinking about it, because with crypto it gives you a financial fluidity, right? It allows you to be fluid in the way that you transact with the greater world out there. If you're interested in buying or trading DTC token, check out ionomy and Uniswap. There are two main places right now. Ionomy is very cool. I don't know much about the team there. I just know that it's popular and people like using it. I know the trades are pretty fast. But I would recommend that Uniswap is something that you research and look into and play around with. Hopefully this video was useful. This was my second one of a series of about 20 odd for stacking and trading the DTC coin. I'll catch up with you soon. Take care. Bye.